Remembering that, George, he
I believe he had to work Memorial Day.
Okay.
In the afternoon.
Do you remember putting the child to bed that night?
Most nights I, rocked her. Even if I didn't put her to bed, I would rock her and
calm
sing.
Down and took the 2-year-old.
Oh yeah, she always liked to sit in my lap and we'd read, or we'd go out. Last thing before, she'd like to go out and look at the stars and find the moon and stuff like that.
She had a. I apologize.
She doesn't sleep in her crib.
Sleeps in bed.
We haven't. About a year ago, we converted her crib to a day bed. And rarely would she take a nap on it. It's always in Casey's bed, and that's where she slept every night. We were trying to, every once in a while, let her sleep in her bed. But if she'd wake up and didn't touch Casey or someone, then she'd start crying and then get up and come get Casey anyway. So Casey just decided just to leave her sleeping her. And Casey kind of missed her too anyway, so.
It's a comfort level.
It's a comfort for both of them. They always.
Okay. So we know for sure Kaylee 26th, and most days for certain, the Sundays and the Saturdays.
Yeah, that I spent the day with her, right? I can't say what she did during the week while I was at work.
This week, or any week?
Yeah, I don't know what she did during the day while I was at work. Most of the time she was there when I got home. My routine was on my way home from work, whether I was leaving at 5, 5:15, 5:30, 6 o'clock, whatever, I'd dial Casey's cell phone, and her and I would chat. And that would just kind of help me get home. Unwind. I'd find out what Kaylee did for the day, what she was doing, and that kind of thing. It was just a routine that we kind of had.
Okay. So now, if you weren't on vacation, what Yuri's getting at?
During the day, I wouldn't know what she was doing, if she was home with Kaylee or not necessarily.
But the evening?
They were generally home, and we had dinner. And we played with Kaylee, gave her bath and put her down, and that was something that Casey and I both did together. She might be running the bath while I was finishing up dinner with Kaylee or whatever.
Is there a night in particular that because let's face it, there's a social life there. Did she go out on a particular night where you were tasked?
There's a lot of times she said she was working, that I thought she was working. And most of the evenings she was working, and I usually
most evenings.
Well, at some point, it doesn't mean that she was gone the whole night. Sometimes she came in early, and sometimes she came in.
What's early?
9, 8.
And what would be late for her, or a normal late for her?
If she came in late, it would be 1, 2. And again, May doesn't stick out. It might be something that my memory will remember later if I go back and look at my work calendar or something,
Yeah, that's great, because I gave Lee those
work,
2 calendar books, and if you get a chance, feel free to use them and jot down whatever. We'll set something else up then. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no pressure on this. We'll make sure there's no pressure.
But if I could go into work maybe on Monday, look at my work calendar, see what I was doing there that might trigger, something.
Okay.
We're pretty boring people. Come home from work and we're homebodies. We don't really go out a lot. George and I go to dinner once in a great while, and that's it.
Right.
Our life was Kaylee.
And yard work.
Our life was Kaylee. We worked out in the yard. George if he was out front, washing the cars. If Kaylee was napping or with Casey, I'd weed out front, but typically we were in the back. That's why we had it fenced in, and we had Kaylee's play area back there if we were outside.
That was your recreational
life. Our
the pool, the sandbox, and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
save money that way.
We made it a place. Well, you know what? Even before Kaylee, we were people that wanted to be at home. We used to like to go to the beach, and then when we got the pool, I hadn't been to Cocoa Beach for a long time. We just.
Did she like the beach, Kaylee?
I never had an opportunity to take Kaylee to the beach. I know Casey had taken her a couple times. We had talked about it. We had talked about going to the beach.
Okay. Well, we can look at that. One thing she did say was to friends, and we can remove that now. Maybe that's something she's trying to tell us.
I never took Kaylee to the beach.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I don't want to appear like I'm trying to back away with my question.
No. That was some things because Actually, I had spoken with Ryan on the 3rd, and he thought I had Kaylee at the beach that week, and the week that I was off. And I said, no, I haven't been to the beach all week, and I haven't seen Kaylee all week. So, and then even Jesse called me and told me that the babysitter that he said that Casey had told him the babysitter had her at the beach. And I said, I don't know, I don't know anything about that because she didn't tell me that the babysitter had her at the beach.
Okay.
So.
Well, that helps. I mean, days.
Yeah, I've never had her at the beach.
Recreation.
George and I went to the beach one time this year. We went to Cocoa Beach once. I can't remember what day it was, and it was just him and I. I can't even remember. I think it was. It had to be probably around May because Casey and Kaylee were both still home. So either May or that first week of June. Could have been the first weekend of June. In fact, it might have been that first weekend of June, that Saturday before my birthday or something like that. That weekend before it was either that or the weekend after. George might remember. I'm pretty sure it wasn't the weekend of Memorial, so it was either the...
following weekend?
It might have been the following weekend that him and I went to the beach. So that would have been, the 7th.
So you would have kicked off your vacation.
Going to the beach, then I took, I thought I had taken Kaylee to see my dad when it really was the week before. So George and I must have went up, or I must have went up and saw my dad on the 8th. Okay. And then the following Sunday on Father's Day was when, and I remember clearly now, I didn't even think the 15th was Father's Day. Didn't even think about that being Father's Day because George didn't want to celebrate it. He was busy. Casey was saying she was off to work. And I think I just gave him something, a Father's Day present, and I think Kaylee and I just decided to go up and visit my dad. She hadn't been up there for a couple weeks or so to see him.
Well, let me go down and get some clarification on this thing, just for my... So we're in May 31st, you and George went to the beach, maybe?
I actually think it was June 7th now.
June 7th, okay, June 7th. So you ended that week's vacation at the beach before you had to go back to work? Because you were off the first week in June, right? Okay.
It was either the beginning or the end. George will remember more than I will. Right now, again, this is all kind of a blur, and I'm tired, so. Mm-hmm. But I could probably figure it out.
No stress. No, I mean it.
No, I know. I mean, it's.
You and Lee can go over this
these were dates that we had to, really put brand in our minds,
Right. Well, it just helps us do.
The 15th will be branded in my mind forever.
Right.
The 15th of July.
Now, when you first said the 8th, though, that was just confusion, like you said.
I knew I had seen my dad that weekend, and I didn't put Father's Day together. I was thinking, I knew I had seen my dad towards the end of my vacation, just before I went back. And
also at the time, just from what Lee's telling me, that conversation. At the time you made that statement, you had other stress factors in your mind, so you know.
Oh yeah, I mean.
That was made on the 15th, right? To Casey and Lee. When you first went and got her.
Right.
That's when you said.
Yeah, I just said that because, and I didn't look at a calendar. It just came out. I was thinking it was the Sunday before I went back to work, but it was actually Father's Day, which was very easy to confirm, as you know, without even. Just phone call to my mom confirmed it. I mean, my mom has a log of everything. If I talk to her, she writes to me at Mary Lou, so I can probably ask her for her letters. Might help. Okay.
Yeah, Kevin Kravitz, one of our detectives, when I had a chance to talk to her, he said she seemed like she had a lot on the ball.
Yeah. She writes. She's going through a tough time right now. I mean, it's been very stressful for her for the last couple of years anyway. I mean, before my dad had a stroke, she had found out. In fact, it was Kaylee's. Was it her first birthday? Yeah, she found out she had breast cancer, and then she had gone through 6 months of treatment, 2 surgeries, 6 months of treatment. Finished in December, and my dad had a stroke 2 years ago, and it'll be 2 years.
And he's close to her up there in Mount Doris, I think Lee said. That's why
she lives a block from the facility.
Okay.
She goes there 3 times a day typically. So that's her routine.
She remembered making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich because the baby wouldn't eat chili.
Yeah, we had chili that day. I was up there because my dad and I and Kaylee spent a long time, I didn't think she'd spend that much time with him because, I mean, usually when we're all there, she wants to walk around, but she actually sat at the table. She read a book. She was coloring with Papa, Papa, and it was just a nice day.
Going back, that was June then, right?
Yeah, it was June 15th, Father's Day.